was trying to be who I'm meant to be. Didn't know I had to conquer all of these enemies, but I know that I will take off and fly, cause I serve a God who can do all of exceedingly. I don't know how, I must admit it, how he'll bring me out, but I'll know God did it. Now I can't make it on my own, no, know what I'm on, yo.
I just told him take the wheel, I'm just walking in my purpose on purpose. I got the faith, I know I'm worth it. Told him take the wheel, I'm just.
So today with us on Stool Talk, we have a very, very special person, creative, very, very talented creator. Some people say they draw or they can sketch or they call themselves artists. But this person we have today is very creative. Iowa State Cyclone, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that too, because we got some ties with that. But very artistic, creative, poetic. We have with us Miss Jasmine. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. So with Iowa State, the first connection is I got a long list. Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell used to coach the University of Toledo, my hometown. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. So that's kind of a connection. I started following Iowa State, watching him. John Cooper used to be the Ohio State football coach as far as he went there. He was the MVP back in the day. But as I did my research, I never knew your school is famous because George Washington Carver went there, correct?
This is correct. Yeah. Excuse me. He was a student there, and we also have a building on campus named after him as well. But
Wow.
yeah.
And I seen how the other schools accepted him because he was smart, but then they seen what color he was, and that played a part. So then he put together some money. He went somewhere else, and that person said you should go to Iowa State, and that's how he ended up going there. Then we had Henry Wallace was a vice president. This is important for women. Carrie Chapman, the founder of the League of Women Voters, she went to you guys' school.
Did not know that.
You
You schooled me on some stuff.
And Brock Purdy, he the 49ers quarterback. He's doing real good. He was Mr. Irrelevant. Now he's, on the verge of winning MVP. But you guys, your school is a good school. A lot of talented people. It's a lot of basketball, football, and other people, but there was just some that we highlighted. And they had Jasmine. But first, I wouldn't be remiss. I want to give a moment of silence for your mom, Miss Gloria Pearl T. Correct?
You did your homework for real. Yes, that is my mom.
Before we start, I want to give a moment of silence for her.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So how did this creative journey start for you? Like, how was it growing up, and did you become artistic and be a creative when you were younger? Was you into sports? Like, how did it start with you growing up?
I think being a creative is honestly just in my DNA. My dad could draw. My mom was good at writing. Both qualities are instilled in me. Just little sketches when I was younger. I still got a binder full of sketches that I did when I was in 6th grade. As far as digital art, I taught myself how to use Photoshop when I was in 6th grade. And then as far as poetry, with poetry, so Tupac's my inspiration for why I write poetry. My mom had purchased his poetry book when I was in 3rd grade. And from the moment that I got my hands on that book, she never got it back. I still have that same copy today. But I recognized his face on the cover from the album covers that my parents had, and just started reading it and got interested in poetry. We had an assignment, I think I was in 5th grade, where we had to write a poem book, different styles of poems and whatnot. Still have that as well. And then what else do I do creatively? And then painting. That's something that I just recently started, I want to say the beginning of 2018. And then I really picked up on it, excuse me, during the pandemic, working from home a lot, just having a lot of free time. So yeah.
Was it hard, knowing that your mother and your dad did stuff to man, I got to make sure this is top of the line because I know they did good work? Or did you felt that you needed to do that, or it just became something that you just kept doing? And when did you realize man, I'm pretty good?
So no, I never really felt the need to live up to anything. It was just always something to do. Excuse me. My apologies.
Are you good?
Um, yeah, I never really felt the need to like live up to any type of expectation when it came to those things. It was always just kind of like just an outlet.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. This is my
Yeah.
first time, doing something like this. So my apologies.
No, you good. But this is, see, that's something in itself too. This is the purpose of this platform, spotlighting different people, different careers, different, like we have athletes on, we have artists like yourself, we have creators on, we have music artists, authors, like different people that's in the film. Sometimes it's they first, sometimes it's just to spotlight people so they can see how it looks. So sometimes somebody will like, man, how would this look? Or I don't understand like how I would do or what the format would be. It's just spotlighting them on different things that they do for the youth can be able to see like, man, she can do it, I can do it. And I'm motivated by her. I need to start drawing, I need to start writing, different things like that. And walking in your purpose on purpose. So that's why when we had a conversation, it's like it's not all about just one thing, it's about everything together. What does family mean to you, and how did your family drive you, like the influence on your family? What part did that play in? Because you went to school, you went for engineering. That's a hard major, that ain't for the weaks. Like, how did your family motivate you and help push you and help to just have the things that's inside you be able to come out?
Um, let's see. So as far as like the engineering aspect, how my family kind of pushed me. So my mom was always my biggest motivator. She had passed away the summer before my fourth year of college. Um, but every time that I was struggling with the class and texting her talking about, oh, I want to come home, I don't want to do this anymore, she was definitely somebody that pushed me to keep going. And then even in death, it was like, okay, I gotta finish this for her. And then I have three siblings. One, two, three, four siblings. Excuse me, four siblings. Three that are younger than me, but I have my youngest sibling is, I think we are 14 years apart. So that was a big thing as well. Her being 7, I think, when I went off to college. That was a big motivator. Just give her somebody to look up to, a role model and whatnot. So
Yeah. So how would you what would you say to someone that may be watching that might be struggling with being homesick, or maybe in school struggling, ready to give up? What advice would you give to them that you took and you put to use?
keep going. Man, there are so many times that I was crying and just like did not want to finish school. I remember one time I was even crying in the bathroom stall, and it was this advisor that had heard me crying. It was long story about why I was crying and whatnot, but she got me out of the stall, took me into her office, helped me out with the situation that I was going through. But I would just say, yeah, keep going. A piece of advice that I would give that I'm still trying to practice what I preach for myself is don't compare your journey to anybody else's. Because yeah, that was another thing that I struggled with a lot in school, because engineering, as you have said, is a hard major already. There's not a lot of people who finish engineering programs for like the typical 4 years. There's a lot of people that it takes 5 plus. And I was in that group of people. So that definitely being in that major and I'm fumbling with my words. I'm so sorry. I'm nervous. Being in that major and whatnot, and like I said, that's a more rigorous course load than some other majors. And so I would look at some of my peers and look at them being able to complete their college degree in the 4 years, the typical 4 years. And then I'd be like, hard on myself, like, oh, why can't I, take this amount of credits and, you know, get it done in the 4 years. But I would just definitely say, don't compare your journey to anybody else's. The goal is just to finish. So
Yeah, that's a gem in this whole interview already. We could shut the interview down. You saying something for real, that's good. And I know True to be saying, and this ain't no sneak diss or nothing against it, but playing sports in college, we had a couple players that started off as engineers, and by the end of the year we graduated, they were gym teacher. Their education was their major. They switched because
I know a
they
few. I
couldn't,
know a few.
they couldn't take it. So, you know, and it just seemed to me as when hardships come or different things, because you didn't quit, you didn't give up. It seems that it births something inside you growing, and it makes you become the woman that you are going to be, or the person that you're going to be, or the greatness even inside you by you pushing and not giving up. It's something about, you know, how they say how diamonds come from, you know, the rough. That's how you make diamonds, from fire, all kind of force and everything, becoming something beautiful. So even what you're becoming to now, and what I love about you is you saying I'm still becoming. So you're still evolving, and you're able to say that. Most people, they either they down on themselves or they too high on themselves. I got it going on, I'm this and I'm that, because one wouldn't think that you go through different stuff. You travel a lot, you've been to a lot of different places, and that's something to see too, because a lot of people can't take that journey, or they might be scared, like I don't know who I can't go with nobody here. You probably went on several trips by yourself, you probably go with different people, but you're doing it, you're traveling. What's the best place that you've been to, and who has the best food?
Who has the best food? Mm, I've had some good food in Chicago and in Houston.
Okay.
So I'd say those two for the food. But as
Yeah.
far as just like the best place that I've been thus far, Bali. I went there for my birthday this year.
Yeah,
And
so
it was an
so
amazing
so
trip.
that's how the connection is too. So we got to shout out Sway in the Morning Show, because we both citizens. So you know that's how we heard about your traveling. We heard about the different things you do off the radio, and we all followed you. So that's how we got to see your journey and see that you kept it going. It wasn't just some people, no sneak this, because everybody ain't the same. Some people travel, you see one picture, but you were able to keep doing it, and then you have different things to show your evolution and show that you're evolving. And that's what's amazing. A lot of times we can't see what we're doing, we can't see, you know, the light we're living, or we can't see even what we have inside of us, but other people can see it. So you're humble, and you don't use social media as for negativity. Can you talk about the benefits of social media and the negativity, how some people allow negativity from the social media to cause them to be depressed, or to, you know, not value themselves or look at themselves, being with the comparison?
Yeah, social media, it's poisonous, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you said, there is a lot of negativity on social media. Scroll on Twitter, see a lot of people just arguing with strangers,
Yeah.
throwing insults at strangers and whatnot over disagreements. Um, one of the positives is something like this, like, you know, like you said, I gave my Instagram handle out on Sway in the Morning, and then I had all these different people from different walks of life um
Yeah.
following me on social media and whatnot, and it brought out an opportunity like this opportunity
Yeah.
came about because of social media. But yeah, no, there are definitely some positives and some negatives to social
Yeah.
media. There's definitely some toxicity to it, so
And I gotta put an invoice in as well for a Darkwing Duck picture, because I like Darkwing Duck. So
bet, let me know.
you know, a lot of people I have that can draw, I have them drawing, and I'll send it to you. But yeah, that's what I was inquiring too. Like I seen that you drew, I'm like, man, you know, that's really dope. And here, you know, you humble about it. You know that you're good and you're confident in it, but you still figuring out which lane or which way do you go. What do you see yourself doing as far as with your branding or with your, you know, creative side? Do you see yourself going that way, or do you see yourself being in the workforce?
Um, Honestly, I think I might just keep my creative outlets as just that, just a creative outlet. I did momentarily in 2020 and 2021 start monetizing my art. And
Yeah.
honestly, that kind of killed it for me,
Yeah.
like killed the joy for it.
Um,
Because At first I started off with painting, just like random ideas that came to me and whatnot. And then one of my friends, shout out to Sekou, talked
That's
me
pretty cool.
into selling my paintings. And then I thought about it for a little bit. I was like, okay. So I started with painting selling a bunch of paintings that I had already made. And then it turned into a lot of people coming to me for commissions. And then I don't know, that just kind of killed the joy for me because I'm just like, dang, what's wrong with my ideas?
Yeah.
I mean, I do still take commissions here and there. Like I'll have some friends hit me up, be like, oh, can you paint this? And I'll do it and whatnot. But as far as like the larger scale that I was doing it on a few years ago, not so much. But yeah, I think the creative side to me is just really just the outlet. Like going back to the poetry side, when my mom had passed, it was it was nice to be able to get what was in here out. Um, so I wrote a lot about, like I have countless poems in my poetry book about just grieving, the way the dynamic in my family shifted, just how I was dealing with that. So yeah, I think as far as like my creative talents, just kind of keep that as, some for me to escape from the real world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably just stay in corporate, stay in my engineering field and whatnot, put this degree to use. But
Yeah. Do you ever do open mic poetry or things like that?
I have a few times where I live, it's not something that's super common. Like there was a brief period where there was this guy that was hosting I think like once a month. And at first I would just go to kind of watch. And then a couple times I went and actually performed because I do get stage fright, as you can see right now. Like this is just me and you, and I'm still nervous, but yeah.
Yeah. Can you speak on a young person maybe battling with the loss of a parent and how you keep on, because around these times I know the holidays is hard times, so how do you handle it and how do you keep going and keep pushing even though you're dealing with the hurt of a loss?
Man, honestly, it's tough. Everybody tells you that, oh, it'll get better with time and whatnot. And it's true, but it's also not, because there are some days where I'll wake up and it'll feel like it just happened yesterday.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean the harsh truth of it all is like you just gotta keep pushing.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, because life just doesn't stop just because you're grieving and whatnot. And definitely had to learn that. So um yeah, I would say seek out therapy if that's something that you're able to do. I definitely have to credit a lot of my growth when it comes to my grief to my therapist. Um Lean on the rest of the family that you have. That was definitely something that helped push me through. Because yeah, like I said, my mom had passed the summer before my fourth year of college, and that was also the school year where I turned 21. So I started drinking a lot more. And I went to so Iowa State isn't super far from where I'm from, so um, when I did have moments where I was super low, like I did have family that would sometimes, come see me and whatnot. So definitely lean on the rest of the family that you have as well.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that about you had time where you went kind of astray, you started drinking or whatever. What was the eye opener to you was like, man, I got to get myself together. This ain't me, or did it slow down gradual? Did somebody say, hey, what are you doing? Like, what helped you to see like I need to turn around and go back the other way? I'm headed the wrong way.
Um, Time, I think,
Mm.
really. That first semester was definitely hard. Because like that was the semester that I've turned 21. Um, I had tried out therapy a little bit that semester. Um, but time, really, that was
Yeah.
it.
And that's good that you very transparent, man. And I know that it's unique to see and it's needed to see, because some people feel like they can't talk about it. They feel like they gotta hide it, or they don't say nothing. But being that you allow time to heal, because time heal wounds, you know, you might not get over it, but you know, it'd be different time where God will be able to help ease the pain and the hurt and different things like that. But you able to express it. So like different people might have other things that they can express it, whether they cook, whether they sing, whether they do different things. And one of your famous paintings is one of you and your mom. I think that's really dope that I seen as well.
Oh, I didn't make that, just so you
You
know.
did?
No. I
Oh,
wish that, yeah, I got that on my wall
oh, I
above my
thought
dining
you
table.
did that. That's why I thought you.
No,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it
but
is
that.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
but
gifted to
you got that
me.
to look at though. So I thought you did it. Look,
Yeah.
I'm giving you all kind of props. Like,
Yeah, no, that was gifted to me for Christmas one year, from
yeah,
a past partner. But yeah.
yeah, that was dope. So you have different things like that. How can you deal with not being enough? Sometimes people think that they ain't enough, but they're enough, you know, but they have to know in themselves. Dealing with self-love, how do you deal with that? Do you take pictures and post pictures and say, nah, this ain't right, I got to get the perfect picture, the perfect pose? Or are you confident in your pictures, or do you second guess them? How do people or young women deal with self-love, where they're loving themselves, they're doing things that make themselves look nice, beautiful, or they're even confident in the things that they post?
So yes, a little bit. I do second guess some of the pictures I post sometimes. But honestly, I don't I don't know. My confidence, it's just built over time because I was a very self-conscious preteen teen. Um I was I think I reached 5'7" by the time I was 13. Was always super skinny. So like there was a lot of things that I was self-conscious about.
Yeah,
But you know, just over time just grew to love the things that I was insecure about, and just love myself more. And I definitely think the more that you love yourself, the more it shows. Like I've had some people comment on like how confident I seem and whatnot. And I think the more that I like pour into myself, it shows to others.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and that's great, pouring into yourself and making yourself feel the love that you have. Like, you know, ain't nothing like, I know women like to go shopping, they like to get pampered, doing all the things to, you know, to boost themselves up and to just be confident, because confidence, it has you in a space to where you thinking straight. Now you focus, now you can make different decisions and you can be able to move in the way that you want to move, versus you not being confident. Now you're, you know, second guessing yourself. And a lot of people that's not self-conscious, they deal in these relationships with people that they're not supposed to be with. So now they're in a relationship because of this person, and they're not knowing you way better than that. Greatness is inside of you. You can do all this and do that. Now you with somebody that's pulling you down because you think you're not enough, but you way more than enough, you know. And a lot of people deal with that when it comes to relationships. Can you speak on relationships as far as the youth, on like how important it is to have a good solid relationship, and what things to look at that might, you know, kind of bring you down?
Ooh. Mm. I might not be the greatest person for that. Because yeah, I haven't had too many relationships in my life. So I might
Well,
not be the greatest one to speak on that topic.
but just on your opinion, on what you think, or what you, from what you see.
Um, okay, so all right. Repeat the question again.
What do you think are things that a person in a relationship should look for to know that, you know, this is good, and the signs they should see that's, you know, not good, that's taking them away from, you know, different things, you know? Because if you're involved with somebody that's bringing you down, it's going to pull you away, it's going to have your confidence low, different things like that.
I would say positives to look for is healthy communication for sure. Um, Someone that considers you, considers your feelings, considers, you know, how you would feel based off of actions that they make. Um,
So let me ask you this. Um, competition. A lot of times when one person is skilled, gifted in the area, they deal with somebody that might be in competition. Have you ever had somebody like intimidated by you because you say you seem, I think you are, but you growing into what you are. You're confident, you're focused, and you're very talented. So have that ever been intimidation? People look at you and be intimidated or feel like they got to compete or compare with you?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, it might happen in the background, but nothing that's ever been confronted to me before.
Yeah, because like a lot of times, people they don't support, and even with family, like people should support when somebody they see somebody is gifted, they see somebody is talented, or they see what they doing, they should get behind them and push it. All hands on deck. We trying to push you to the forefront to be able to, be the best that you can be to pull the greatness out of you.
Right.
Yeah, so like a lot of times it just be different. What are your goals and what are your plans for 2024?
For 2024, definitely more traveling. Hopefully some more international traveling. Um, I want to build stronger relationships with the people that I love. One thing that 2023 has definitely taught me is life is short. You got to let people know, let the ones that you know that you care about know that you care about them.
Yeah,
So definitely wanting to build strong relationships with people in my community, and propel my career. One thing that I've been on the fence about for the past few years is ooh, should I say this? Well, nobody from work is gonna see this. Changing my job. So pulling the trigger on that hopefully in 2024.
yeah.
Not in a different field, just different company.
Yeah, I mean that's good because that's something that you want. Like, is nobody feel no type of way. Of course, you're a good worker. Of course, they probably gonna be lose one, but sure, if the doors open up, you got to take advantage of it. You got to seek the opportunity because you will never know. And you were saying your goals is it more tattoos? You have what, 13 tattoos?
Yeah,
What is your
maybe.
favorite? What is your favorite one, and what does it symbolize?
Um, so I got two favorites. So the first one, and this is the one that I mentioned in that message, it is John 13:7. And I believe verbatim, the verse is, and Jesus replied, "You may not understand now what I'm doing, but later you will." So I came across that Bible verse 2 days before my mom passed away, and she passed
Oh,
away unexpectedly. So when that happened, and I remembered seeing that post on Facebook, because I had even shared the post on Facebook, I just felt compelled to get that tattooed on my wrist because in the moment I really didn't understand. Like,
yeah.
I mean, sometimes I still don't understand it, but so that would be the favorite. And then the second favorite is this one I have on my forearm. So my favorite rapper is Smino, and he has this song on one of his mixtapes called Already. And at the end, he's just kind of talking at the end of it. And he says, "What I can't control is the shit that I don't stress." And I overthink a lot. And so that phrase kind of helps ground me and keep
Yeah.
me out of what if land. So those would be
Yeah.
my two favorites, and then like my mom's name. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, you said you overthink. What do you do to help with that? Because sometimes overthinking ain't bad. It just depends on the situation because you could be thinking about something and you don't overthink it, but you keep on thinking, and boom, now you got it. Because what if sometimes you don't think enough and now you stuck? How you differentiate that?
My overthinking is always in the bad way.
Oh no.
Like thinking about situations and like past situations, like, oh, I
Yeah.
wish I would have did this differently, or what if I would have did this, what would that outcome have been? And I have to tell myself to snap out of it. I actually have I think I have it in 2 or 3 different locations in my apartment, but my therapist gave me these like printouts of like tips of like how to overcome overthinking, and I have like them in my bedroom, on my fridge, and then in my bathroom. So just like daily reminders of just like, It is what it is. You can't control everything. So
Right. So I just, before we leave, I want you, whatever comes to your heart, I want you to speak to the youth, whatever comes to your heart, or a young person like yourself, speak whatever comes to your heart.
some advice that I could give the youth, I would say, that life gets greater later. There's a lot of things in your life at this point in time that probably seem like, you know, the end of the world and whatnot. And, you know, a couple years after you graduate, it's not gonna matter really. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's trivial, minuscule. Um, and also, and I think I might have mentioned this earlier, just don't compare your journey to anybody else's. Everybody's gonna have it differently. Don't compare your success to anybody else's. Just make sure that you're doing what you have to do to succeed and get to your goals.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Yeah, that's been great, man. You did a great job, man. You was like, oh,
Thank
man, you did a great job,
you.
man. Well, I just want to say, I see greatness inside you. I see different skills and talents and abilities that you have inside you, and I just pray that God bless you and open up doors for you. Even next year, you talking about moving and transition. I pray that God be able to open up the doors to the right place, the right timing, and it be perfect and meet your needs, for you can be able to have what you need and what you desire, and for you can just stay focused and go after everything you want and be that great spirit that you got, have that great heart that you got. Like this is just what I'm sensing. Like I don't know you all like that, but it sees like you selfless, you don't you realistic. Like most people just talk to say stuff. You saying what's on the heart and you saying how you really feel. And I just want you to go after your dreams, even with your skills, even with your businesses. And I pray next year be a year of favor for you. And even during these hard times, these holiday times, may the fun times moment, the wisdom, the knowledge that your mom gave you, may that be something to help you get forward and to get through the difficult times, because I know only you know how you feel. Only God really knows how the exact amount of hurt. If somebody ain't lost no mom, they wouldn't be able to understand how you feel. So I just pray that you be able to be good during those times and those moments that you go through it. But I'm just here to say, keep on going, keep pushing, and be the best that you can be. And I really appreciate this.
Thank you. I appreciate you reaching out. It took me a few days to respond. So when you first sent the message, I didn't see it for a couple days. It was in my message request. And then after I saw it, I didn't reply right away because I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but like I struggle with imposter syndrome sometimes. So
what that means?
I don't know. I don't think I'm as good as I am sometimes. And that
but
sometimes
why? But why though? And you getting validation.
I don't know. I mean, it shows up at work sometimes. Sometimes, like, I think that, like, I don't know. But yeah, I have imposter syndrome sometimes. And so, like, when you first approached me with the opportunity, I was just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't got nothing to say. Like, what am I gonna talk about? So I did mull it over with my therapist a little bit, and I was just like, I'll do it. I'll do it. But I'm glad that I took the opportunity, though.
Yeah, I'm glad too, because you have to have those guards and because you don't know what goes on, and I'm glad you see that is 100% like real. It ain't no gimmicks, no hidden agendas, no motives. Like you able to see that, because most people don't know. But you did so good on the radio with thousands of millions of people.
I got a little bit of practice there. I'd have been calling in on there since like 2017. So got a little bit of practice.
And all what you had to say, like people need to see that. So many people talk down on therapy when therapy is helpful. Most people struggle for what you say, and I don't want to scare you away. That's why I'm just saying I don't got nothing to talk about with this. But you actually said something, but I wanted you to finish, but you said something because God shows you and he reveals his word don't come back void. So the fact that you broke down that scripture and said how it experienced that you went through because of that scripture, seeing that and dealing with that, it helps you, because that's the fruits from the word that you read. It ain't, a lot of people be so religious, but it's not about that. But it's really things that God gives us and helps us through different journeys, because all the stuff that you went through that we talked about on this, the most regular person would have been gave up. A lot of people can't walk in your shoes. So I even learned more. It's just what I've seen, but even able to learn more about you, you know, and I'm gonna just be keep on motivating you, encouraging you. So this ain't gonna be the last time you hear from me. And you know, making sure that you do, you know, your thing because you great and you got it. So just walk in. It says like walk in that, you know, and then you will grow into that. Because like this famous person named Jasmine said, and I'm saying famous before you blow up, like she said, it takes time and you'll grow into it. And that's what you're gonna do.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell your therapist I said, hey, and she's doing a great work because you can tell you utilizing the skills and the tips that you learning, and it's been great.
I'll definitely tell her about this experience. Yeah, I mulled over the decision with her, and she's like, "Well, you'll have to let me know what you decide." So
Yeah.
I'll definitely let her know.
Well, thank you for having this time with us. We don't take it for granted.
All right. Thank you too.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.